Resume. There we go. We have resumed recording.
Okay.
Let me also spotlight my downward camera. So there we are. So we've got the Delicate Whispers stamp set and dies.
Yeah.
So four of those before big ones and these two little ones will cut out your stamped images, with the exception of this one just here that's like a sort of almost backgroundy little flowers and dots.
Right. Yeah.
And then you've got the sentiments: hello friend, wishing you happiness and love, thank you kindly, and hope you feel your best soon. I thought that was quite a nice one, actually.
Yes.
Well
Yeah.
card. um so yeah, so those are your stamps, and then in addition you've got these sort of additional stamps, and
Mm.
it's called Delicate. They are really quite wispy when they're um
Right.
yeah, so they're quite nice. So a lot of the foliage is a bit chunkier. This isn't very chunky. It's really quite delicate when it's die cut, so that's rather nice. So I have created 3 cards. I don't know how I'll get on hitting my timing today. We shall see.
Yeah.
um Here I may have got slightly a bit more carried away, but we'll see how we go. So the first card that I made was concentrating mainly on the stamp. So I've used these
Right. That's
ones just here around this die cut circle,
so pretty.
used
Yeah.
these in the corners, and I've die cut some of these as well, and some of the little flowers as well.
Mm.
So that's quite a few of those stamps that have been used in there. So it is a basic white card base. I must admit, I've not even had time to pre-cut lots of my bits up, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Grab a piece of hydrangea hue. That's just a 14.4 by 10 bit of hydrangea hue. Shove that in there. And then it is the largest of one of the Spotlight on Nature circles, whichever one you fancy. I've yet to replace mine, so it's the larger one that I've got. But you could equally use the other one, which, if I remember right, it's like eyelets, I think, on the large one. And then we'll just want to die cut that. So let me do that now. Let me chop that bit off of there. Save me taking a huge chunk through the machine. So with these, I stamped them in grey granite. That one, and that one. A ruby. Where's my basket gone? I had it all set up and then I just moved it. Let's pop it back. So, grey granite. That up. And one coming round the bottom. Oh, the just looked at that card and realised it's missing something. We'll put that right. So I'm not too worried about where it overlaps, because when I'd actually finished this card, I still have my glue dots, but there's a grey granite bow went on there. Don't know where my bow's gone. But it won't matter if this is a bit untidy where it overlaps just here, because we can cover that up. Yeah, so once I'd got to that stage, I then used Mossy Meadow Stamping Blend. I've actually got the dark, but it won't matter if it's the dark or the light. My light seems to have gone walkabouts. I'm going to have a dig about in the bottom of my boxes to see. Oh. All right, I seem to have you twice now.
Oh, yeah, no, I lost you completely because
Okay.
I tried to take a photo.
Okay.
Which was stupid of me. So
That's
yeah,
fine.
I
So
shan't
what
do that
point
again.
did you lose it? Sorry, I was so busy looking down, I wasn't looking up. So I've die cut
No, that's fine. I can, yeah,
spotlight circle, and then I've stamped one going around the bottom, one around the top. Don't worry about where it overlaps if that looks a bit messy. I was just saying, I've got my glue dot there on the card when I finished it. It did have a grey granite bow. Not quite sure where my grey granite bow is on. But yes, we can use that to cover up any sort of, overlapping if it doesn't quite right in that bit. So having got to that bit with the grey granite, I've then got Mossy Meadow Stamping Blend. My light Mossy Meadow seems to have gone walkabout unless I've misfiled it. So I've got a dark one, but you could use dark or light or a mixture of both. And these are really quite small little leaves, so it really doesn't need a lot of pressure. It just sort of is really lightly tickling the colour into those leaves.
Right. Helen, could you just send me photos of the 3 cards when you were done?
I will do, yeah.
And then I can, because I'm making notes at the moment rather than actually working with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you need them now?
And then I can
have to wait till the end.
No, I can wait till the end. It's not a problem.
Okay. So I've taken some photos. I'll just edit them a bit to make sure that they're as they should be, and then I'll send them over to you.
Thank you. And then I can work from photos tomorrow because I'll have made notes. That's why I lost you. I was trying to take a screenshot and it didn't work.
Oh well. I disappeared.
Can't do that.
Yeah, I do find if you try and press too hard when they're this small, you just sort of end up.
Yeah.
They all are just little leaves. There's nothing very big about any of them.
No.
The big ones are quite small. The little ones are just tiny. They're almost like just a dot in the pen.
Yeah.
Ooh. One of you has gone.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you've just got one. One is more than enough.
I think that's all the leaves. I'm bound to find one in a minute that I haven't done. So that was the leaves were Mossy Meadow, the flowers Hydrangea Hue. And again, it's almost like a little flick because there's not a lot of colouring to do. And then with the other little sort of, I don't know, wheaty, grassy sort of effect one, took my um gum cake and almost like dotting on some of them. So some of them have got a bit more structure that you could do sort of if you like. But other of them are just almost like a few little dots just to add some.
Yeah.
Almost like feathery ones. All of them? Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, so you've got your little hydrangea hue flowers, your mossy meadow leaves, and then a bit of crumb cake on these fluffy bits. The sentiment that I used was the Hello Friend sentiment. I quite liked that one.
Right.
But obviously you can whatever sentiment you like. So again, I used grey granite and I just stamped it through the middle there. And then I just grabbed actually one of my endless strips, a bit of an endless strips of white card that I have.
Yeah. Yes, as do bags of them.
And I took,
but not as many as you.
No. So this is the little flower, and again I've stamped it in grey granite. You've got one stamp, but you do have two dies. So I just stamped 5 of those. So the fact you've got 2 stamps means it's not such a horrendous die.
Yeah.
And I just left the centre of these white. I sort of took a ring round it, but just left the centre pieces white, and rather than adding in another colour.
I've noticed that the hydrangea hue blend dries quite a lot lighter than it goes on.
Yeah, this is the darker one, I think, but yeah, because I used the darker one on the original one.
Yeah, and it is much lighter.
Yeah.
But
these are quite sweet little flowers. I mean, obviously the papers in this suite are just stunning, which is why they flew off the shelf and were trying to get our hands on. Right, so little flowery dies is one. What's the other? Oh, what was that die and where did it go? Oh, that's so frustrating. I heard it go, but I don't know what it was. I know what I'm looking for. I will no doubt find out in due course. And I can't find it in a minute. So they're not symmetrical. There is sort of, one way that works.
Right.
So,
I haven't played with it at all yet.
no.
Could be stamping those.
Yeah.
Where's my grey granite? I'm sure I got that out. Sure I did.
And one more fella. Those little flowers. The other thing that I stamped and die cut was like another little scrappy. No, that's not going to be long enough. I'll stamp them on here and then cut them off. Was the grassy stamp. So this one just here. Thank you. I need this one. And I did those in Pancake. Now, I will say, if you want to make sure, and I'll double check with this one, when I put it on the first time, I'd obviously curled it a little bit. So
Right.
it is well worth sort of resting it on the side and picking it up with your block rather than. I think I'd squeeze it into one of the narrow blocks, and I'd obviously moved it a little bit from its natural position. So when I came to die cut it, the die wouldn't fit. I was like, that's not quite working. It was fine at the top, but the stalks at the bit is do with. So I have that die because I've just seen it. Going to really frustrate me as to what that die is until I find out. Saw it on in that drawer. The way it hit, it sounded like it did. Right. I will look at these as well.
I thought it was going to be ages before you're going to have that, John, Richard. John? What? I thought it was going to be ages before you had your sandwich. Yeah.
There's one. Right, so oh, put the lid on those. We've got all our bit there, I think. So the only other thing is you want to take your hydrangea hue piece of cardstock, which is 14.4 by 10, and your hydrangea hue ink pad. And using this little background stamp here that's got these flowers and dots.
Yep.
On.
Yep.
And put something in the background. I mean, you could go all over if you wanted to, but I just went with the corner. And again, with this ink, it dries quite a bit lighter than it goes on. Because when it goes on, it's like, oh my word, that's really dark compared to the cardstock. As it dries. So a little smattering of flowers in both corners. We'll just check that I've got enough flowers there. Yeah, I think we're good. We will then put him together. So I'm going to stick this to a card base. And I'm going to use some dimensionals on that. And a sheet of big ones out. One in the middle for that. And put that in.
Did you want the subtitles on, John? Okay.
Down there. And then we're going to want one of these at the top and one at the bottom. So I'm going to trim the bottom off of the bottom of these stalks off. So I'm not quite so much to worry about tucking underneath. Because these are sort of looping over that way, I've positioned it so it's looping that way a little bit as well. And this one, loop around the bottom there. And then some mini dimensionals on the back of these little flowers, and they can just scatter around on the greenery. This one. Come on off. Back doesn't want to come off that one. Don't they do that sometimes, don't they?
They absolutely do.
Stick on.
And then you force it off and you tear it in half.
You're no good anyway. Right, back on there. So we will add some of our little grey granite ribbon. I quite like this. It's sort of almost sort of like a zigzaggy between the two edges. It's yeah, quite a nice little ribbon.
This is part of the suite, is it?
Part of the suite, yeah.
Okay, I didn't hoof that out, but I've got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's this ribbon, and grab the dimensionals in a minute. So I only made it a fairly small bow.
Yeah.
Come in. Come on there. And then obviously you can decorate insides and envelopes either with little flowers or ones just here, perhaps possibly. So there we go. Ooh, we'll put some. I'll frame the glue dot on the floor and then some of these embellishments. So these are the embellishments that go with it. These dots. I used the Mossy Meadow ones just to pick up on the Mossy Meadow in the leaf. You can have whatever colour you like. I definitely put 3 on there. So overnight, 1 dot and 1 bow has wandered off. They were there. I had to have a look to see if they were there when I took the photo.
Cece was watching Toy Story last night. Maybe our crafting stuff comes to life in the night.
Yeah, it does. It runs around. Yeah. I think there's a good chance. Right, so that's that first one.
Very pretty.
Hello friend card. As I say, you can swap sentiments up and things if you wanted to change those. The second card plays a bit more with the dies and with the paper. So that's this one. So
wow.
Quite a bit of die cut, a few die cuts in there. And these are all die cut from the paper.
Oh, so right.
The only stamping on that, I think, is the thank you kindly. I think everything else was either come from the paper or from the die cuts. So this is where we might find what the die cut is. Although now I can see all the ones I used there. So there's these sort of 2 that sort of curl around a bit like the stamps do. You've got 4 of these long thin ones. I've only used 2. Where's the die? So you've got sort of 4 dies that give you grassy things. I just used 2. I'd used the 2 larger ones. Got both of those there. Here. So that's that one and that one. Oh, no, actually, I think there's another one that I used. That may be
the one that went. Yeah.
I think I know what I'm looking for now. It was a long thin one. I found it.
Hooray!
It was that one that I used.
Right, okay, yeah.
Oh, I used the 2 longer ones. So two longer ones, and then you get these 2 here. That look a bit like wheat grasses, feathers on sticks, whatever you like. And then you've got all of these. You've got these little ones just here. And there's actually 5 of these. 2,
Crikey.
3. I think they are slightly different. I think some of them I think 2 that are sort of slightly right and 3 that are sort of curved over, but there is 5 of those. So that's a lot of your die cut. So in terms of colours, got my bits and bobs thing here. I did these two larger ones. I haven't cut this card. I've just grabbed a Oddman out of my packet.
Yeah.
And 5 of these little ones. They were all out of Mossy Meadow.
Yep.
Still got my card. I cut my other 2 out because these 2 long thin ones came out of grey granite. And then the 2 little grassy ones were out of crumb cake. So although there's a lot of dies that you cut out, they actually,
Yeah,
you've got lots of dies to use, if you get what I mean. So,
yeah. That's
you
kind
only,
of them, isn't it?
yeah, you only have to do 1 of each on these. You're not doubling up. See if we can get them all through together. We should. As long as they don't move too much. Now comes the point of where's my plate gone? Oh, it's on the bottom.
I was going to say, I think it's underneath. Yeah.
Nobody move. Breathe too hard. Ooh. There. There. As you can see, they are delicate little wispy bits. Once
They are.
they are.
Well, it's the name of the game, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. And these ones are really quite nice. As they are.
Oh, lovely, yes.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Do take a little bit of sort of teasing out of the card.
Yeah.
You don't want to yank them, otherwise.
Well, you can break them, aren't you?
Yeah.
Bits.
You're sticking back together. There's one little green one there. Back on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all those die cut bits. One more die. 2 more
I was going
dies.
to say, you've still got a die on the thing.
Yeah. There we go.
Saw it. Yeah.
That's those. So that's all the greenery bits. Don't anybody move. Stay just there. Then in terms of paper, I used this sheet just here. So it's got the bronze foiling on it. Really pretty. And
What's on the back?
On the back is the...
Oh, yeah.
I like that checked one.
Yeah.
So I cut 2 blue and 1 of the grey granity,
Bronzy.
granite, or is it more plum cake, or is it a bit of both? I think it might be a bit of both. In fact, I think this is hydrangea hue and a bit of sequency. I think this is plum cake. But I also cut out, and this does have to be fussy cut because there isn't any dies for these, but I did fussy cut 3 of these wispy things as well. which again are foiled, really pretty. I think actually I can get away with that one. Well, I did some little flowers, so little blue flowers as well. I did 3 blue ones.
Right.
I like
that. Let me jot that down then. So
you pick that blue one, and then I'll get another blue one as well. So your little dies will cut the little flowers. Even myself, one needs to be a bit too short there. Let's take that one. And I want one more with the blue flower. So die wise, there is this die that is going to cut out your big flowers.
oh, okay, and a leaf. That's good. Right.
Yeah, the whole.
Oh yeah.
That whole kit and caboodle, which is good. And you've got these little dies here that will cut out these, the same ones that we used on the first card will cut out these little blue flowers.
Oh, will they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the only thing I fussy cut is those sort of feathery, leafy bits. Everything else is using the dies. I'm going to cut that one because that one's a bit close to that other one.
Yeah.
Do that in a minute. So yeah, so this one is really making the most of your dies. One big flower. Another little flower. There you go. Why are you digging into your paper?
Sorry?
Are you digging into your paper?
I am just getting out the right bits. Well, that's that one.
After the flowers. Now these wispy bits that I've die cut, although they look on the surface as if they might be a bit fussy, because they've got like this colouring over the top, they're not actually
that bad. Okay, that's good.
No. No, I didn't make too much of a meal of it at all, really. And you can tuck them in under things, and so if it's a bit like this one that's on the edge and you've lost the bottom, that's not going to really matter because you can tuck it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I did look at the little tiny grey granite flowers in the background and went, no. But you
They
do
get lost.
you really feel like you'd like to add some of those in as well?
Yep.
Go for it.
Oh,
Thought some rude words might be said if I did
do
that.
you think? Do you think?
Yeah, I think. Right, so now we have a whole little pile of things that we've die cut and fussy cut.
With the little tiny ones, did you do any of the brownie ones or just blue?
No, just blue, but you could mix and match. You could do some brown ones
Yeah.
if that works easier with where your paper is. I
Yeah.
just did the blue ones, but
Yeah, that's
right.
fine.
So in terms of this card just here, it's a white card base again with a mossy meadow. Oh, that's going to be too wide. Mossy meadow mat in the background. But then obviously we've die cut some arches. So true to form, those arches have come out of the middle of this.
Yeah.
Bit of mossy meadow. Well, the mossy meadow arch has come out of the middle of that. Oh, let me have a little look and see what number arches it was I used. Where are you, arches? So 1, 2, 3. It will be number 4 and number 5 that I used in that gap just there.
Right. So if I want to scale this up, I just use the 2 bigger arches.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, yeah, because it wasn't the biggest arches at all because I wanted to leave some of the paper on show.
Yeah,
that's pretty as well. So that was a different paper. That was this one. So it's the one that's got the mossy meadow mottled effect on the back. So it was that one just there, which would suggest that somewhere in there I've got a bit of paper. Yes.
Beautiful. It is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it is nice.
I've got my niece's 50th birthday coming up, and I was hoping that one of these would be suitable for her.
And you could certainly blow that up to 5x7 if you wanted to.
Yeah.
With the bigger arches. Yeah, really easy. And probably wouldn't even need to do very much more in the way of die cutting. You could perhaps just explode it out a bit more.
Yeah.
13.9. I want this, don't I? And I'm guessing that that's already 9.5. Yes, because it'll be the other end of that strip. I'm going to die cut that out of there in a minute, and I shall also want obviously a basic white one as well. Let's find a basic white that's big enough to do that. That just wants to come somewhere out of the middle. We're not too fussy as long as it's not right on the edge. This one, oh, no, we'll just take it down the bottom there. Mossy meadow arch and one basic white arch. Let's find my card base. I'll stick this on here. This one on the top. But again, this has got the foiling in.
Yeah.
And then I stuck these together flat and added them. Yeah, I did add them flat because I put some dimensionals on the bits on the top. I mean, if you're going all fancy, there's no reason why you couldn't put dimensionals on this as well, but I was keeping it a little bit flatter.
Yeah, well, it's got to go to Switzerland, so it's
a little bit flatter might work then. So that's just going to sit on there. Now, this is the point at which Mike came in yesterday and said, "What on earth are you doing?" Because I took my ribbon, and because of the sort of ribbon it is, get my bit going. Come on, don't play up for me now. You won't be.
I find one end will fray better than another.
Let's try.
Are you doing a Marashwari and doing a tassel? I can't see one.
Oh, it was. You're going to come nicely. Neither end's going to come nicely, is it?
Oh, naughty.
There we go.
Oh, no.
So you just end up with really wispy bits. So I cut the bit off that I was pulling somewhere along the line. And then I cut myself a bit just here, where those scissors gone, like a tab on the bottom that I can attach. And then you've got like these really fine, grassy, wispy bits. Yeah, I just went, "What on earth are you doing?" I said, "I'm pulling my ribbon." Destructive.
So how long is it approximately?
Round about. So that is about 5.5 centimeters ish.
Yeah.
You're going to tuck it sort of in between all of your flowers and things, so you're not really going to see the end anyway.
No.
But are you still attached? I thought I'd cut you off. Right. So we've now got 2 wispy bits as well, just because. So I started off with these big bits at the back. So one, and they only need little spots of glue. I mean, you could be really efficient and cut them all out with double-sided adhesive. But yeah, just little spots of glue. So I've got one going upwards. And coming down here. Then I took my 2 grey bits. So the one that curls that way round.
Yeah.
Come off, little green bit. Otherwise I shall lose you. I've had that coming up here somewhere. And this is the point really where, because you're putting your flowers down there, you could, if you've got bigger arches, you could
Yeah.
take these right out a little bit more. You could add in a couple more possibly as well if you needed to make it a bit fuller.
A bit more free flowing, yeah.
And there's the two crumb cake grassy bits. And they're so light, they don't need a lot of adhesive on them at all, really. That's actually got some... It's still locked in there, one there. One just there. I'll sort of have these coming up this way a little bit, sort of out towards the outside of the arch that way. Ooh. I mean, really, it's just flower arranging them where you want them to go, really. So having put those die cuts down, this was the point at which I attached my fluffy ribbon. So I just put a drop of glue on the bottom there. So it's going to look quite ugly down the bottom here, but you can ignore that and you can sort of fluff those out a little bit. Yeah, nobody's going to see what's going on underneath there. Fluffy, fluffy. Then I added in my flowers and I used dimensionals for that. There's my big ones. Where have my little ones gone? You're here somewhere. Everything has suddenly disappeared. Right.
Yeah.
Got some bits on the edge because they don't want to be too fat, really. So I'll put this grey granite one sort of here somewhere. I could get away with big ones. Let's have one blue one down there. The other blue one sort of tucked in here somewhere. Then we've got these sort of wispy bits left. I'll tuck those under here. On there. One coming in under there. One coming in under there. So that leaves us then our 3 little flowers and our 5 little green bits, which are perfect then for filling in where you want them to fill in. So where these stalks are coming out the bottom here, I can sort of add in some of these little green ones. One up here. And down there. One coming up. I might actually have any coming up there. Then the little flowers, I'm actually going to stick these down so that they're sitting behind these bigger ones. One just here. I might have a little one coming down here on this one. And that's all of those sort of layered up.
Wow.
On there.
It's
so then
beautiful.
I just did a thank you kindly. But you could make it particularly if it's a celebration one, wishing you happiness and love would be a nice one. You could perhaps cut it into bits.
Yeah.
Or just do a thank you kindly. I just need a little bit of white, and I stamped that in Secret C.
All right.
You could do it in Mossy Meadow as well, but there's Secret C in the papers as well, so I thought it just brought that out a little bit.
Yeah. That's a lovely card. Really, really pretty.
Yeah, that's where you really get to play with those dies. It really sort of shows them what you can do with them. I mean, you could have like a raised up frames with them sitting in it, sort of bursting out of it almost as well, couldn't you? Sort of do lots with that. So the thank you kindly, I just snipped round and tucked it in somewhere, poof up my fluffy bits a bit. Oh, and I added some Secret C dots on that as well. There we go.
Lovely. Really
One.
lovely. Yeah.
So that's one using the stamps predominantly, one using the dies, and one where we're going to go away from the colour scheme completely and go absolutely and utterly mad.
Melon Mambo, I saw that.
Yes. So,
oh, wow.
we have some fun with watercolor card and all sorts going on here. And I've added in a metallic, but it's actually silver rather than
oh right, yes, yeah.
copper. So let me just stick that down. Yeah, and I made sure I didn't use any of the colours that were in the paper. Right, so I took a piece of watercolor card. I've got a bit of watercolor card, and I cut it in half. So if you're using different watercolor card, the measurements are 12.7, I think is. I gave you the measurements on the thing for how big my piece was, which is 12.7 by 17.8. So to cut it in half, you want it 12.7 by 8.9. Will give you your piece of watercolor card that is same size that I used. And then the other half, because I sort of said have one sheet, so you're going to cut it in half. Half is going to be base, the other half you're going to use to do some die cutting and things out of. Might possibly not use all of it, but that is fine. So I started with my base of watercolor card, and I gave it a good spritz to start with. Spritzy. And then I took my melon mambo and my lemon lime twist and did some sort of splodges in the background. I want to open that one. Let me give this a bit of a squeeze. A bit of, what is it? Add CPR. I love that idea. And I'll give those a bit of a splodge of water as well. And I just, didn't clean my brush. I did clean, but obviously not well enough. Unless I've just cleaned another brush. It wasn't that one. So I think we'll get some kitchen paper. We will do that.
Try again.
And try again. Hit that first. Don't succeed. Here's another brush on there. Look, that's obviously the one that I cleaned, made sure I'd cleaned it properly. I think that is now clean. No, still not clean. I'll use this one for my green colour. And there's still something yucky in there. Right, so I just added in some green. I'm going to take a little drop of ink, I think, just to make this a bit stronger. And just added in some sort of blodges round and about. It was nothing very technical about it. I just put in some colour. So let's bring in this one that's a bit pinker. Add in pinky splodges too. And then while that is still, I'm going to give it a little bit of a dry, but I don't want it to be completely dry. That is very wet, definitely. I like it. So now it's more damp rather than soaking wet. I'm going to take the big um, pearly stamp, and I'm going to take Granny Apple Green to start with, because it's just that shade darker. One going that way. And because it is slightly damp, it will sort of bleed a little bit, but you don't want it, if it's too wet, it will completely bleed and be totally indistinguishable. But yeah, so you just get a little bit of bleeding because it's just damp, hopefully.
Yeah.
That was those. And then I took the sort of more wispy stamp, one just here. And that one I inked up with Lemon Lime Twist. And I added that in. And again, I'm not too worried about what's going on in the middle because we're going to cover that up. So that's ground for a minute. I'll set that aside to start drying. I might need to dry it off a little bit more, but we'll leave it to dry off a little bit more by itself. I'm going to squeeze this yellow number one again. I'm going to take the two big dies. One and this one, and I'm going to cut those from the other part of my fluid 100 in my watercolor card. So I'll die cut those. Now these you really do have to wiggle out of the paper. May even need, oh no, I think we are cut. It may even need, might be worth rolling it through a couple of times just because it's such a delicate die, but that bit thicker.
Paper, isn't it? Yeah.
They seem to be coming out with a bit of a wiggle here and there. And then I just took my inky brush and just added some colour. Now it doesn't matter if you've got little patches of white, it doesn't have to be totally solid colour. And it's not done with any great finesse, really. It just is splodging the colour on. Again, these end bits are going to be hidden anyway, so it gives it quite a sort of mottly effect. So there's two bright pink leaves to go on in the background. Might need a bit more of that in a minute. Where's my... Give that a good clean it up. A bit pinky, but I don't want it too pinky. Right. So then I want a piece of basic white card. And I'm going to stamp 3 flowers on it in Versamark and heat emboss it in silver. This is where you need to be careful that you're not mixing your wet watery stuff with your embossing powder, because the two do love each other. No, I've not used the floral stick. I don't know. Here we go. Make sure that is very pink, and I'm not sure whether it's looking pink because I didn't quite clean it properly, or whether it just is stained with melon mambo. And we'll just make sure. Right, so Versamark here. So we're going to stamp 3 of these. So I'm just doing this on normal basic white, although I am going to colour them, watercolour them.
So I've still got some shimmery white, so I could use that, couldn't I?
Yes. Absolutely. One spoon. Dimensional backs in there. There's a hole in it for some reason. That's annoying. Wow. For some reason, this little leaf just here has got a hole in the middle, so I'm going to use my Versamark pen. Happen to have. Hopefully, add in. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Right.
Well done.
I keep forgetting it's there.
I know I've got one, and like you, I think, oh,
It's useful for those sorts of jobs. That's that. Wet this. So the other thing I did do was I took my silver embossing powder, and while this is still a little bit damp, I just took a pinch. I really want a pinch. Just sprinkled it over the top. And then hopefully when we heat that, we'll get some little silver speckles if we don't just blow them all off. So let's go underneath rather than on the top.
yeah.
Then hopefully we won't blow it all away. Stuff a little bit. No, it's still blowing it away.
Oh.
Not quite wet enough, possibly. My one the other day was possibly a little wetter, and it stuck beautifully.
Right. So while base is still damp, I will underline that bit.
Just want a little bit of a splatter. Let me, because obviously Versamark will stick to anything that is wet, sticky. No, embossing powder will stick to anything that is wet, sticky. Let's give that a little spray from on high.
There's brave.
Yes. One thing about these sorts of projects, you can be a little bit adventurous, can't you? Oh, I can got some bad everywhere that's blowing in. I have got a few little, I'm going to pop my light on. A few little silver splatters in the background now this time. But yeah, something to play with.
Yeah.
So you don't want it to be too wet, but once it gets too dry, it won't work either. And just go from underneath to start with, and then hopefully you'll get some little splatterings. It is. You can see that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah. And the bigger your blobs of water, the bigger your splatterings will be. Right. So these flowers I watercoloured. I've got still been bottle powder everywhere. These ones I watercoloured with a mixture of crisp cantaloupe. And I've got some Daffodil Delight that I've used for the middle, and I'll bring back in a little bit of Melon Mambo and also some of those other colours. So let's start with the crisp cantaloupe, I think. So I don't know if you can see, I have squeezed some ink into that lid. I've literally painted it straight on. Don't want to go too mad with your water on ordinary white, because it will just go fluffy and pill up. And
yeah, horrible. So you did all the flowers in cantaloupe?
It's cantaloupe, yeah.
All right.
And this one, again, seems to dry lighter than it goes on.
Yeah.
So the petals, we've got one more to do, Helen, here. I did then just take a little bit of Melon Mambo, just sort of where they meet the petals. Not very good light now. The trouble is, I put the light on and the light goes worse.
Yeah.
Stay. So yeah, where I've filled it, I'm just sort of going in and adding in a little touch of Melon Mambo around the edge of the petals.
Yeah.
You obviously take a great deal more time than I am. Well, not obviously, you might not want to.
It's very effective, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, watercolouring's quite forgiving, really, isn't it? Then I can clean that brush up a bit. Yeah, my Daffodil Delight. Have I still got some there? And I added right in the centre of the flower with Daffodil Delight. And I also added some, sort of splodged some over where these grassy bits were. So that was nothing more technical than just a little bit of splodging, and it will sit underneath the embossing then. So then with the leaves, I did a sort of similar to what I've done with the flowers, only with lemon lime twist and where's that other brush gone? Doo, doo, doo. No, that's the pinky one. Oh, here we are. Sitting right in front of you, Helen. So with these ones, I coloured the main part of the leaf with lemon lime twist or leaves. There's a little one just here as well. This one. And then I put my granny apple green and just added in on this base bit just here a slightly darker green. Give it a bit of variegation. And that's those 3 flowers that just then want die cutting with the one that we used to cut out the flowers from the paper from here.
Oh,
yes.
your
Folded that.
sticky's lost its sticky.
Yes. Stay. Here's one. That looks most bizarre in that light. It's that's slightly better. Oop.
You get a flare from the silver, don't you? So you don't see the middle.
We'd have probably done all right with the light if it hadn't clouded over. It was going to rain. Of course, I think it'd be raining. Right. So, the watercolouring on. Here it is. We actually quite a bit of silver splatter in there now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So we've got our hard base, and I'm going to stick that to a crisp cantaloupe matte. which is very odd sizing, but that's because the watercolor card is an odd size. So obviously, if you're using different watercolor sizes, be watercolor card,
Yeah.
do make these sizes a bit more logical if that helps. So that's already 9.4. I'm just going to stick that to that. Now, obviously, watercolor card, this has been watercolored, heat embossed, all sorts of things going on with it. So it is the most peculiar shape. So
I think it's one for under my flat iron.
I was going to say you might want to stick it down and then stick it under something to sit and rest for a bit. I'm just going to take my big block. And the most useful uses for this big block is things like
now we've got stamping platforms. We don't need these big blocks.
Right. So that's pretty well stuck down to the card. And then you've got your pink pieces that we're going to sort of stick on the top. Again, we just need some dots of glue. It's slightly heavier paper, but it's still not going to want a massive amount of glue, really. What? Where's the other one gone? You're here. Where? What? I just stared at you.
Floor, boobs.
There, is it? Where have you gone?
You seem to get it from somewhere from your left, the other one, so...
Yes.
No.
There it is, look. Just straight in front of me.
Oh. I could see something pink there. I didn't know if that was something that had been stamped earlier.
There we are. We'll put that one so it comes around this way. I'm going to do the sentiment next, just because then the other flowers can go above and beyond it. So that was literally Melon Mambo ink. I used the Hello Friend one again. She says, of course, now I've used all of these stamps. Where are you, Hello Friend? There you are. Oh, come on. Sticking to the paper and not the block. Watching somebody today, a demonstrator today, saying if your stamps don't stick, wipe them with alcohol wipes. I'm thinking, well, that seems a bit harsh. You can just run them into the tap.
Well, yeah.
I
have been known to lick them, actually, and it really works quite well.
That not just sort of, over time cause your stamp some damage?
I would have thought so, yeah. I don't have any alcohol wipes anyway, I don't think.
No. Well, she said, or use rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. But I thought that feels a bit harsh. Go, throw them in a bowl of bubbly water. Same thing. Right, so I just trimmed this and shaped the ends a bit. And then found myself, I think I have given you some measurements, but if, like me, you have a whole load of odd bits, just find an odd bit.
Yeah. Oh, is this the 5 centimetre by 1.3?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
just stamp it, trim it, find a bit to match, I think, really,
What did you stamp it in?
Melon Mambo. So it was stamped in Melon Mambo onto basic white, and then
onto basic white. Oh, I see. Sorry, with you.
Mambo
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
On the top. The phone's gone completely goofy. There we go. So then I put this on with some dimensionals. Oh, look, there's my little dimensionals that I couldn't find a minute ago as well. Reappeared. But I put this on first because having then put this on, you can sort of tuck your flowers above and above and beyond. So I did use dimensionals for those as well. You're overlapping slightly, thank you. And then one down the bottom. And then for this one, I didn't use the ribbon because obviously that's grey granite. And there wasn't anything I could do to colour that to make it any different. So I just added in a little bow of white twine, which you could colour if you wanted to. You could make it melon mambo, but I quite liked it white. So nip that off. They weren't the best scissors, really. But that on with a glue dot. I'll tuck that under here. And then I did use some of the white dots.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, you could colour those if you wanted to. And that was then all stuck onto a melon mambo card base. Just because if you're going to be loud, you might as well be loud. And you'll want something on the inside of that. So for this one, I just stamped flowers and added a bit of melon mambo colour to them, but do what you like on the inside. So that is a very definitely not the muted
subtle colours
that are in the paper. But we need to know that we can, we do lots of other different things with it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's fab. Thank you.
3 cards. One with your stamps, one with your dies, one completely off the wall. There we go.
Fab.
So I will do some pictures and send those out. I will finish up the instructions that I was hoping to get done today, but
well, no.
The young lady who was not going to have a sleep for love nor money. So yeah, so I'll get those finished and out to you along with link to this when I've uploaded it to YouTube. Yeah, so instructions, photos, and a link to YouTube.
Yeah.
So, there you go. 3 cards to get you started.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're very welcome.
Are we still recording?
Yes, I can stop. Let me